Hello, YouTubers. This is a new session where we continue developing a standardized test-driven library to kind of turn or convert natural language into a SQL commands. And as usual, I am joined today by my dear brother here, Kailu. How are you doing, Kay?
Good, good. How are you? How are you guys?
Good. So last time, just to kind of give people kind of recap about last night, what we basically did is that we set up the infrastructure, all the work that we need to basically get something up and running with the entity intelligence, the build pipelines, the acceptance tests, the integration tests, all the pieces really that you need to kind of get a project up and running. And Gregory, thank you so very much. He basically went in and kind of added all these components. You can see this immediately kind of links up with our build, which is fantastic. He added the logo, and he also added the sessions here for the live session. So if you want to catch up on these series, you can always go back to the very bottom and get the very bottom and get the catch of it. Okay, and I also want to thank the people that reached out to me through LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook. A lot of people reached out to me and they said, "Hey, I want to participate in these sessions. It might not fit my time zone, but I want to kind of be a part of this work, and people want to participate in building something that other people would be using. A lot of engineers would put even more effort and time into open source libraries and projects like these than the actual day job because it's passion driven. It's about something that you're excited about, and all that kind of stuff. So the second milestone for us, okay, we want to enable database integrations. Let's go into our sessions, our issues here, and I'm going to go into a milestone, and I'm going to go and say database SQL Server integrations. Right? So what is this milestone? We want to allow our system to be able to talk to SQL Server. We have another milestone, which is OpenAI integrations. So there is the part where we have services that allow us to work with OpenAI and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to create all the issues for these just so people kind of pick and choose. And if someone wants to do that work, it doesn't have to be on the stream because we've done a million brokers and a million foundation services. We've done so many of them that you could just go into a live streams and see these. I want this to be an opportunity for people to kind of do that. And then the final milestone is basically um, um, uh, converting a natural language to SQL, right? So basically the final milestone here is to basically bring in natural language, talk to AI, convert that into SQL, and then bring in results. So these are three milestones that would basically wrap up this entire project, right? That's really all that it is. It's a library for people to go use what it is. But then there will be another project that we will call standard AI data entity intelligence UI. And that UI part is basically a desktop applications, right? A desktop application that people can install from Microsoft Store and be able to use it to kind of integrate and work with their SQL servers that are running either remotely or locally or whatever the case may be. So what do you think, Kay? Should we start with the natural flow of things? So if you push in a a a natural language query, we should hit the AI first before we hit SQL, right? So maybe it makes more sense to do that in here. So okay, let's create a bunch of issues then. So it's brokers, um, uh, uh, let's say convert
How do you go
query.
the other route? Say if we're going to the other route, how do you
Which
go
route?
the other route? Standalone.
Oh, not yet. Not yet. We want to give people something that works because that standalone route,
Mm.
that's probably going to take like 300 sessions. It's bigger than you think, right? And there isn't much availability. I'll explain later, but for now, here's something that works, right?
hmm
Something
hmm
that's V1, but I promise you it is part of this kind of product.
Yeah.
So really, we want to basically convert query to SQL. right? So we need a broker, and this broker will know how to convert a query to SQL. Of course, the actual query itself will be at the foundation service level, but we'll talk about that in a bit. So, okay, look at that. So Gregory even added all the, man, we're lucky to have this guy. He added all the labels, all the stuff. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you. Truly, I appreciate you. So, okay, so there's brokers, and then we want foundations, right? So this is retrieve SQL query from a natural query from AI. So that's one, and that would be a foundation service. See, working with the community is just fun. It's just fun. And then I think we did say we're gonna need a processing service, Kay. We should probably wait until we see if we really need it. I think we will. Most likely we will, but I'm not sure yet. So I'll hold off a second there and see what's it look like. Let's see if we can get the broker and the foundation service at least, kind of happy path, up and running, and then see what that looks like. So this OpenAI integration here, and then I'm gonna add this milestone as well
You
here. So
got the
this is a
bro
milestone.
with this one, you got the broker done. It's pretty much 50% of the work, right?
Yeah, it's a very easy system. This is a very simple, easy system. But the case with easy systems, right? If the grunt work, the physical work is very low, that means the brain work is very high, and you'll see because OpenAI restricts you with the number of tokens that you can pass in. So we're going to run into a very, very, very interesting problem. And I have a solution for it. I just want to let you know, like, this is coming up ahead. This is just the basic bare minimum, but try to run this against a database table that has 200 tables or 250 tables, starts to get very, very interesting in terms of optimization, right? And I have a solution for it, like I said, but again, we're going to have to explore a bunch of options. Also, just to kind of make sure everyone is aware, uh, today I was actually having a live session with Sync Fusion, and we basically talked about designing systems, right? And I talked a lot about the work that the standard community have been working on. Please go and visit this video and see the stuff that I shared with people. There was a lot of people on this webinar that Sync Fusion organized, and there was a lot of ideas and thoughts that people brought up that kind of stimulates the thought process about how to actually design systems in the age of AI, and how does that impact your architecture and your decision making process. I'm going to drop that in the stream chat here just for people to be able to kind of go see it. Okay, I'll build the broker, you build the service, right? Is that how it's going to be? Or do you want to go the other way around? What do you want to do?
I don't mind you building the broker, right? I mean,
Okay.
the service is the hard part, right?
Yep, the service really is where it's at. That's very true. Okay, let's go there. Let's start there. Let me kind of increase my resolution just for people on their phones. I'm sorry, I usually forget that part because I know, like, to me, that resolution is extremely massive on my screen. So, but I also want you to get the content. That's why we're doing all of this, for you to kind of, the person watching, to kind of learn and get the content and know that you can actually grow, you can actually learn. You can actually have content that will kind of entice you to evolve as a software engineer. This is what it is all about. So, okay, I have this here. We already did that part. I'm going to go to main here. I'm going to pull latest. I think we have the latest and greatest. Here we go. So we have build projects, you have infrastructure, we have the whole 9 yards in here. I'm going to run the test just to make sure. Always make it a habit for yourself to kind of check on the check, double, triple, quadruple check. It doesn't hurt for you to run. Like, I've seen some engineers, when they're working on a problem, they only run the tests that they have written and not run the rest of them. And I'm like, why are you doing that? Like, what if your existing implementation broke other functionality, other tests, or whatever the case may be? What if there's a flaky test, right? So the person who developed that test doesn't even know that they have a flaky test, and they run into this issue. What's going to happen then, right? So it doesn't hurt, to kind of run your tests, just see what's happening in there, and hopefully things will be okay. except that when your tests are kind of bugging out. This is the second time this happens, Kaya. You know, I don't know. I try to run my test from Visual Studio and it does that. Let's run it again and see what happens. Come on now. We don't have all day. Yeah, I don't know. Let me restart Visual Studio and see what happens. So let's do this, cancel. Let's close this guy. Let's open it back up again. Standard Entity Intelligence. What do you think about this name? It's a pretty cool name, huh? Entity Intelligence.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think it's a pretty cool name. Okay, let's try this again. Yeah, there you go. Something is up. Something locks up the process. I don't know. Visual Studio people, your thing sucks. Fix it. Okay. So let's so let's get. Otherwise, I swear to God, I'll switch to Writer. You know, Writer, the the other IDE for C# by JetBrains. You know, there is this other IDE that people use, and I've seen a lot of people actually, they will pay money from their pocket instead of using the free Visual Studio that is offered, by their corporate. Just not this Writer C#, it's with the I. It's basically an IDE to write C#, but you feel like you're writing Java, because of it's just not used to the. I did try it. I think it's pretty cool. It's pretty slick, but just old habits. I think people should definitely give it a shot. Okay.
You write C# in VS Code?
Yeah, but yeah, you can write C# in VS Code.
Okay.
Yeah. Going full Chapas dev. What's that? You mean Chapsas? Nick Chapsas? That guy? Anyway, yeah, he does use Writer a lot, and I did have him on the podcast. He's a pretty cool guy. He really loves what he's doing, and I appreciate that about him. Okay, let's build some brokers, man. So brokers, let me create a new branch here. Users Hassan Habib brokers dash AI dash get query. Here you go. Check out, and then we have OpenAI's, right? And then underneath that, we can have our broker. So our broker has an interface, AI broker, right? And we also need an AI broker, like that AI broker. See how crazy this is? We're building blocks on top of each other. It's pretty sweet. The stuff that we worked on before is building on top of this stuff, and they're all standard compliant. So it's just a very nice tree of development. What did Gregory say? Writer. Okay. All right, Greg. Okay. And I'm assuming, like, I don't know if we need partial classes in here, really, but I know that we need some value task that returns a completion response, because we're basically passing a completion. So now we get to install our beloved library, the standard.ai.openai. So here's the library. It almost hit 3,200 something. We're already in the middle of the front page on NuGet.org. We're in, like, literally in the middle of the front page. So that's how much kind of utilization is going on. And as long as we're building products on top of our own products, eating our own dog food, like software engineers like to say, I think these libraries will continue to evolve and all that. So okay, so there's a completion model that comes from OpenAI, right? And this is basically, let's say, prompt async, right? And we need to pass in a completion object in there. So beautiful, man. Everything is just easily, this becomes sort of a domain. It's a utility on top of a utility system, which is very interesting. So there's completion like this. So this is prompt async, prompt completion async. Completion async. So that's our guy. And then on this side, we basically want an I configuration. And I think that's what we did configuration on configuration. There you go. I think really that's what we did with the standard OpenAI, I think. Let me double check here real quick. I think that's what we really did over there. We did some really cool innovative stuff, but I want to double check on with the brokers, we basically passed to OpenAI, and then on the file itself, we basically, did we pass in I configurations? No, we passed in a specific type of configuration that is very specific to OpenAI configurations. I see what we did there, and that basically is what we passed in to kind of consume that. And how did we construct that? We basically injected it in on the front door. Okay, I can get behind that. I think that's okay too. So let's do here OpenAI configure. Oh, except that the problem here is that we need these models to be localized, so we're not very tightly coupled with a certain implementation. So probably I need to create models in here. And then under models, I'm going to say AIs. And then under AIs, I'm going to go and say AI configurations. So see, it's not really open AI, it's just AI, and this should be called also AIs, like that. So that means that this guy needs to change. It's not about the product itself, but rather the, yeah, and then I want to put here something called AI configuration, right, which is basically that little guy that we just created. This is our configurations, right? And then this guy will be injected in. So here's a CTOR. Actually, why did I do that? Have I gotten rusty or what? Let's go here, control, generate constructor. There you go. So I think that's probably the only guy that we need, because this will be converted into whatever OpenAI really wants from us in terms of implementation, right? So, okay, what's inside this guy? You know, we really just have an API key. We need to pass in an API key in here. So string AI access key, AI API key, something like that. String super generic control KE, we'll clean that up. Here's our header. This is all great. Control KE, clean that up as well. Inherit from AI broker. Why not? IAI broker. There you go. Control period is your friend, so you'll be able to implement these things. And then what else we need here? We need the actual OpenAI client.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So that's our OpenAI client, but that guy doesn't get instantiated. That guy is part of the configurations that we pass in here, right? So we can go here and say OpenAI client equal new OpenAI client, which will take, you know, these configurations. So new OpenAI client, OpenAI configurations. There you go. Take all of that out. Come on. Right? And that guy will want from us the instantiation piece. So basically, just the API key, which basically this dot configuration should have the API key, and that should be it, really. So that's the instantiation piece for this guy, right? Okay, cool. So since this is a lot of noise in that part, let's introduce a method, private void private OpenAI client or I OpenAI client. Initialize OpenAI client, and then pass in here our AI configurations. AI configurations like that. Someone was asking me this question the other day. Said like, you know, how do we say A and then the I uppercase? I was like, that doesn't look right. I don't like it, you know. So let me take that guy out. Here is var OpenAI configurations equal new OpenAI configurations. And since this is just the one key that we're passing in, OpenAI can, it doesn't make sense that we scope it. So this will be API key, and we're passing in AI configurations here dot API key like that, right? Well, it doesn't make sense to pass this at all because we already have this as a private class member, right? So let's take that guy out, like that. And then we already initialized this guy. So this will be this dot configurations dot API AI API key. AI API key. Okay. And we can return that guy now. So this is just the OpenAI configurations. That takes care of this part. So now I can go down here and say, okay, well, if that's the case, then I can basically go and say that OpenAI client equal initialize OpenAI client. That's your broker. Okay, now we need to implement that guy. So really what we're going to do is just basically just literally await this dot OpenAI client completions dot post or prompt completion async, and that's it. Did I just finish the implementation of the broker? Okay, is that real?
Yeah,
Right?
that's how we do it.
That's how we do it, right? I think that's clean. Okay, here we go. So this will be, you do the hard parts, I do the easy parts. So brokers, prompt completion, prompt AI completion, right? So we're just exposing and abstracting, right? And this guy closes and give me convert query. So that's the, here we go. Save and commit. I have to say this signage that we added to our commits, it slows down things a little bit. Have you noticed? Like when you're making a commit or pushing, it takes a second. Did you notice that? Especially from Visual Studio because of the signing part. You know, otherwise it wouldn't say verified like that. You know what I mean? Okay, so this looks right, I think. Kailu, do you want to give me thumbs up from your side real quick? I mean, you've been watching me doing it.
Just merge it.
Yeah, I think it looks good. Let me run the tests on my side though, just to make sure. I don't think we have to register anything, not just yet, because there's no callers yet, but we will have to. We'll have to build that client like we did with OpenAI library to make sure that we register the stuff that we did. So just people watching, look, I basically ran the build and test because it's much faster in here. I basically ran the build and test in here just to make sure things are running as expected. Even if in your mind you're saying, well, I just built a broker, what's this have to do with the, you know, the services and the tests? You never know. You know, famous last words, you know, we always think that this is the case, but it never really is. You know, there's always this one thing that makes you wonder, you know, wait a second, you know, I actually missed this one thing and now my tests are not running the way I expect them to. Okay, so I'm gonna merge this in because I can actually see the build. Kailu, go to town.
Yeah.
It's all you now.
Yeah.
You do the hard part.
Yeah. That's what I signed up for.
Hey, you wanted to hang out. That's on you. All right, my friend, let's go.
Okay.
So just so you know, okay, the signature here or the prototype, like the signature of the method, is that this service will be receiving a string and returning a string. Okay, so just be aware of that.
Okay, so let me build these things first. So do we start with test or just service, right?
Yeah, just well, you have to kind of define your interface before you write a test against it, and also define your dependencies, right? I know it's been a while, my friend. I know, I understand. So services, AIs, and don't forget to create a branch. Yeah, foundations and then AIs.
What do we call it? AI.
So
Service.
foundations dash
AI
SQL
service.
dot retrieve.
Okay.
Okay, let's go with the
So
yeah,
this
you do
is
foundations and then AIs. Yeah, you're going in the right directions. And I should have probably put that AI one under brokers, but that's okay. We usually don't do that much, but yeah.
okay. So AIs, right?
AIs, yep, exactly.
Okay.
And AI is here as well. And then we need an interface. You know the drill. See, the thing about programming, we step away just a little bit, you start getting rusty like really fast. That's the problem with it. You have to keep your hands dirty. Just for people watching, you got to keep your hands dirty. Work on something. I don't care what it is. You know, like if I tell you 20 to 30% of the reasons why we make these projects, really just to keep your hands dirty, you know, to be a hands-on. Everybody will tell you I'm hands-on, but you know, you ask them when was the last time you've actually written code, you know, they'll say, well, probably last year or something like that. So hands-on meaning you're writing code every day. You know, you're basically or frequently enough that I would say a week doesn't pass by until you do it 2 or 3 times in a meaningful way, not just kind of cleaning up a misspelling or something. There's nothing wrong with that, but you need to get yourself kind of comfortable with the structure and everything else in between. All right, Kay, what are you doing?
Do we
I
do
think your
AI
screen.
like this or do we do AI like this?
I don't know. I don't see your screen. What happened? Your
You
screen
don't
froze, I
see my
think.
screen?
Oh, now I see your cursor. You should probably share the desktop instead because now you're just
Oh,
sharing
okay.
Visual Studio. I'm probably typing somewhere else.
Yeah, okay. 1 sec.
Go for it.
This, this. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Do
that's much better. Okay.
do AI like this or do AI like this?
No, do it uppercase. IAI
Uppercase.
service.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do it this way.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go. Cool. Yeah,
This
leave it
is
internal. Yeah, leave them all internal. You know, we learned recently, you know, the about friend classes and all that kind of stuff. We'll continue to evolve.
uh,
Okay, so this will return a string. It will take a string and return a string. Okay, just be
uh,
aware. And this
you,
is retrieve retrieve SQL query async. And then your input string is natural query. String natural query. So natural language query. Yeah, this is hilarious. We're gonna be test driving prompting AI. That's ridiculous. I haven't thought this in a million years, but here we are. So the statement that you're passing to AI is quite interesting.
Mm. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're definitely going to need a processing service because something needs to say, given the following tables, run that query. So, oh yeah, there will be some interesting stuff going on there. Mm-hmm.
Okay. 1
Okay.
sec.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. AI service tests.
Zia says, Salam guys, why Kailu not showing his face? Sorry to ask a relevant question because he doesn't want to. It's okay. You know, it's not mandatory. Well, you don't like my face? He doesn't want to. You know, that's okay. Kailu is mostly the kind of guy that, you know, really doesn't care about, I don't know what, you know, presentations and all of that. He just says, let's just work. Let's just be quiet and work. You know, it took a little bit of time and effort to kind of bring Kailu into these live streams. He really doesn't care about that. He will work with me like 20 years in the dark, quietly, you know, as long as we're building something meaningful and something that's useful and something that's profitable. He doesn't care about this vanity. I do though. That's the problem. And he's my friend, so I have to drag him over to do things like these with me. I appreciate it, Kay, though. You know, it's much, much appreciated. See, I'm playing around with StreamYard on a live stream, and I just kind of took both of us out in terms of the view, but it's okay. I fixed it. So broker mock, right?
Oh yeah, broker mock.
Yeah, it'll pull it for you if you do control period. Mock is popular enough, I guess, at this point in time that, yeah, there it is.
Thought
You're gonna have to add the project. No. Go to properties or references. Drop out of this menu, and then right click on the dependencies. Not here, outside. Step out, right click on dependencies. Yep, right click here, and then add project reference. There you go. Yep. So why it doesn't see IAI broker? Oh, my man, you have to make this service, you have to make this project friends with the other project. Remember, because they're internal. So here's what you need to do. Go to the CS proj of your entity intelligence core project. Are you there already? Yeah, and then you're in the right place. You're in the right place. Now we just need to kind of tell this this guy needs to tell that the unit test project is a friend of mine, because you're not supposed to expose these classes to the outside world, right? So let me find the little piece that we did here. Just a moment. This is the package tags, all of that good stuff. There's the CPU configurations, internals visible too. So I'm going to share it with you here. So you have to add something says that the internal classes are visible to this particular project, right? Do you see that private chat that I just sent you? Copy that. Yeah, so this is basically us saying these internal classes are not supposed to be visible to the consumer, but we want them to be visible to the unit tests, right? So in your case here, you want to take dynamic proxy gen assembly. I don't know why we added that in there. I don't remember. Take the middle one out and basically change the namespaces from standard AI, OpenAI to standard AI data, entity intelligence test.unit. Don't forget the entity intelligence piece. Look at that. Look at that. Kailu's back. Intelligence. Yeah, perfect. So now let's go back to the unit test project. Yeah, that guy should be visible now. Yeah, control. Yep.
Okay.
Hey, there you go. So this is a little tiny piece for people that, you know, want to, you know, really properly engineer things. These are the little things that makes it worth it waiting on a 2-hour video stream to just learn these things. Make AI lowercase though. Yep, let's go. But you do understand, Kay, why we had to do that step, right? Because you don't want,
yeah.
yeah,
You're
yeah,
using a library, you don't want to
yep, exactly.
expose your
Yep,
source
exactly,
code.
exactly. They could ruin everything, right? They could destroy things. You could be using your internal brokers and doing things like this way. Zia says, I do like your face. Thank you. You guys are fun to watch. Really keep up the good work. I'm following the project closely. I guess I can help in some way. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, don't do the sequel one though, because I just talked to Milan Tonicic, and he said that he's gonna try to do the sequel one. So I'm gonna let him take a jab at it, and see what he can do with it.
Okay.
Oh, why did we do it AI broker like that? Can you go to the service and fix the variable name, please, Kay, for the service? This is the broker, the service. Yeah, make that guy. I think that was generated. Yeah, perfect. Let's go.
Okay, so we private static string get random string yeah, you get the new get, right?
Yeah, we need the object filler, right?
Object filler dynamics this guy.
Yep. I really want the community to start building our own randomization libraries, because I want to have everything to be standardized as much as possible, especially when they're building domain systems. But we'll see. Slow process. I need to scale faster and better than this, but yeah. Is it mnemonic string? Yeah, keep going. MNE.
Start object filler dot new.
Yep. Throw a random word count in there just in case, Kay. So create another method that generates random integers, and throw a random word count in there.
Random int like that.
Random number. Yeah, and I think the generated for the randomizer here was int range. Yeah. Go to the, well, not 2 though. I don't know. Go like 10 to 9 to 20. And I'll tell you why 10 to 20, because we need to put a rule in there. It's impossible to have a query that's less than a certain number, and you and I need to think about what's that minimum number of words that need to be in a SQL or a natural query, right? If people are passing in one word, they're basically wasting an API call to AI. So the library should automatically say insufficient query or something like that, right?
So what's the overall?
Oh, just type word count in there. Yep. And then just call the function get random. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, and I think, Kylo, you're going to need the iCompare logic as well, because you're going to construct that completion object, and that completion object is going to need to
match the exact
yeah,
same.
yeah. iCompare logic, that's right. New compare logic. Yep.
Okay, and so we need something like
Same completion as. So remember, you do a private I think it's private expression, func, and then completion and Boolean. Yep, completion, comma, Boolean. Yeah, I think that's it. Or the other way around. That's it. I don't know, one or the other. Yeah.
It's
And
like
then you're gonna say same
input,
completion
right?
as. Yeah, this
Input,
is okay.
output, or output, input, right? Okay.
And then, yeah,
Same
same completion as.
completion as.
Yep,
So this will be
yep,
completion expected
completion. Uh-huh.
completion. This compare logic.
No. Do return, and then actual completion.
Return actual completion like that.
Yep, fat arrow, and then yeah, now you can call this compare logic. Are equal. Or compare, I think. Compare.
Compare.
Yep, expected and actual.
True.
Yep, you still want to pass actual completion after expected, and R equal is just a property.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, break it down a little bit, okay, since it's, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, let's write a test.
Yeah. Okay.
Can you write a test in 5 minutes? I think you have plenty of time.
Dot logic start retrieve.
Gregory says select top one from A. Anything smaller. Select top one from A. I'm assuming A is, yeah, so yeah, this is the smallest, well, even asterisk, right? So select all from A, that would be the smallest thing we can get. So anything smaller than that, but that's the returned from the, Gregor, that's what the AI is going to return to us. But the query that's passed to the AI is going to be much bigger than that. And we want to basically determine what would that minimum number of words be. That's the trick there. Okay, random natural query. Let's go. Let's do it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then we need to generate the SQL that's going to come back from that guy. So say like, you know, yeah, retrieved SQL query or whatever.
Retrieved SQL query equals. Well, you still need to randomize it, right? Because
yeah, get random string. Yeah, so we still need. Yeah, that's true.
Random SQL query. So this is this one you don't really care what it comes.
We really don't. Yeah, we don't do duplex validations yet, so it doesn't really matter. Yep.
Okay.
Now you need to build that completion object that will be passed in, and you need to, yeah, so you need to build that completion object in there. So expected input completion object, and that completion object will have a completion request in it, right? So you can build that with a scope. So you can open up a scope for this one. Yep, and then type in request, and it should kind of give you the. And in this case, we really just want to do a prompt. So go into prompts, you know, the beautiful thing about this is the bare minimum, really, right? So you really just want to say, you know, I just want to run this query. So here's a completion request, and here's a prompt, and you need to define the model and the maximum tokens, and that's it. These are the three things we really care about. Everything else for the expected input should be. And prompts, Kailu, prompts is an array of strings.
So new that.
Yeah, except it's not going to be all that, but I'll explain that in a bit. Just keep going. I don't want to. Yeah, and the model here will be the Da Vinci model. So just type this exact properties that I just passed you in the private chat. So take a look at your private chat. That's exactly what you want to put in there,
Okay.
without the single colon there, single quote.
Okay.
So this max tokens is basically what we're saying. Hey, don't go beyond that in the response, and we're gonna need to think about that a little bit. But for now, just leave it to 100. I think it's okay. Okay, so that's your expected input though, right? So remember, this is not the output. When you need another one for the output that will have the response in it. So call this expected input. And then you need to create another one that's um, uh, retrieved completion. Right? This retrieved completion is just a brand new object that we're going to create, except it will have both the request and the response.
So pretty much like
The guy above plus a response. Deep clone? Yep. Nice. And then, well, now you're going to have to give it a type because var is not really indicative.
Okay, so expect the completion dot response.
Yep.
Equals new.
Yeah, for the response, you're going to basically return the one thing that we care about in the response is something called choices. So click on choices and create a new array or whatever. So what's the type on choices? Is it like a list of things? If you hover over it, what does it say?
Choice. Okay.
Yeah, go for it. I don't trust AI here for this one, but let's just see. Yeah, I think that's it. And then you need to create a new choice object inside of that. And that choice object will have text, and that text is what we care about. That's the random response that you just created. Everything else doesn't matter. Yep, that's your retrieved SQL query. Exactly. Okay, let's set up the broker. Prompt completion async, and then it is the same completion as, and then you basically do the Yep. Yep. Yeah, and that guy is supposed to return async. Yeah, there you go. So what's missing here? I think it's missing
some parentheses.
Yeah. Maybe more or less. Why is it tripping? Let's see. It is same completion as. Take some of these parentheses. I think there's too many of them. Keep going. Keep going. How come you don't have the colors that I have in the... I have this colorful thing in my Visual Studio that kind of tells me. Yeah, put another one. Yeah, that should be it. What's the error that you're getting? The type or namespace completion could not be found. Oh, just rebuild your project, K. Comment this and rebuild your project. It's just a glitch in Visual Studio. Control KC, you comment this, yeah. and then just build the project. Silly. Visual Studio is silly, doing silly things. Control KC, we'll bring that back. What is happening?
Ah.
Why it doesn't recognize? That is odd.
It's just.
Wait, your project's still not building. So do a build on entity intelligence there. Just right click build. Yeah, and then double click on that. I guess right click on the project and load dependencies or something like this. I don't know why it's doing that on your side. No, on your core project. Load direct dependencies. What is happening? Expand your dependencies, guy. Let's see. Yeah, expand. Yeah, if you hover over this, what's it say? Yeah, you have package reference standard.ai.openai. That looks about right. Unload and reload the project, man. Just unload entity intelligence, right click, unload project. No, on the project itself. Yeah, just unload and reload. It's being dumb. I have no idea. Close Visual Studio and open it back up again? I don't know. I mean, you're going in the right direction. It just doesn't know about the package, even though we just added it. Do you want to push that on my side real quick?
Let's see. Name which cannot be found. So completion. I don't know if it's messing up with the same completion, right? Service completion.
It doesn't know about your dependency, right? So it's giving you that error up there. It's saying, I don't know about your, just restart Visual Studio. Maybe that'll work. Let's go. No, something is up there. So if you expand on your dependency side, upright, see, your problem is not in your unit test, so stay away from your unit test project. Oh, look, it's not even airing out anymore. Silly. Okay, yeah, keep going. You probably need a reference on returns async. Yeah, just the silliness, foolishness. Let's go.
Should show SQL
Query.
unexpected retrieve
Nope, just expected SQL query. So imagine, like, how is a junior person supposed to know this? Can you imagine how much time someone would waste just trying to figure out why the dependency is not working? It's so silly. That breaks my heart. All right.
So
Input. Yep. Because this is a string, you won't find the option of should be equivalent. It'll be just should be. Yep. Yep. And then verify the call. Yeah, just copy that guy up ahead in line 58. Mm-hmm. Okay, there's an M down there. Line 66. Yep, run the test. It should fail.
Okay.
Okay, cool. My turn.
Cannot create proxy with type. It's not filling the right reason, right?
Oh, this is basically saying cannot create proxy of type standard intelligent AI broker because it's not accessible. Make sure that it's public. Go into, oh, that's why we added this dynamic proxy assembly too. That makes sense. Go back into the private messages and add that dynamic assembly in the text, because that's an external library that is the random generator, the mock library, and it doesn't know how to access this unless we make them friends to each other. So yeah, let's do that. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that should work now. Okay, that makes sense.
Okay.
Okay.
Now it's right.
Hand over.
Okay.
Fantastic. I'll take it on my side here. Okay. So that means if I sync up, I should be able to see your branch, right? So
Yeah, right
does
now, yeah.
foundations. Okay, let me do another sync real quick. So yeah, let me do another sync in here real quick. So if I go and do this, will be the only foundation, so it'll be easy to find. Here we are. Let's see if I have your failing test here, my dear friend. There you go. It looks like it picked it up. Come on, come on, come on. There you go. And then that basically means that I just need to implement that. So I'm going to go up in here and say var completion, new completion. And this is a completion request, new completion request. And this guy will have max tokens of 100. And the model is DaVinci. And we have the prompt, new string array of the natural query. There you go. And then also I think that I need to add this model right here. Of course, like this. Right, and then basically I want my var, so completion response equal await this dot broker dot prompt completion, and then return completion response dot choices dot text. Obviously, as you can see, we're gonna do a lot of validations because a lot of these things can be null, right? So we'll get to that part shortly. We might actually, this might be the prompt for us to start kind of implementing the duplex validation two-way street for the standard, but that would be for the next session. There you go. This is a pass. See, the beautiful thing about this is the test will take an hour, but making the test pass will be super quick. All right. Thank you all for joining us today. Tomorrow, we're going to try to add validations, handle exceptions, and wrap up that service as soon as fast as possible. We definitely need a processing service to kind of pass in the actual query language. But that's for another session. I thank you all for coming in today, and Kailu, let's hang out tomorrow again. Thank you all.
Yeah.
Take care.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you, man. Take care.